Hello, hello, hello. Hi, it's Tuesday, October 12th, and I am Vicki Parsons with My Paper Connection. Tonight, I'm going to be demonstrating how to use the stencils from Stamping Up. I've had these stencils for a little bit, and I had never really done anything with them. And then actually, I had the stencils from the annual catalog and I'd never done anything with them. And then I ordered the ones from the mini catalog. And I was having a team meeting with my group, and I thought this would be a great thing to teach them how to do if they don't already know how to do it. I have a fairly new team, and so we just had a lot of fun doing these. And I thought I would show you what we did at team meeting. It's a fun event. We do all sorts of fun things with cards and 3D projects and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what we're going to do tonight, and I'll just show you really quickly. This is one of them. This is using the gingerbread paper, and this is another one. And then love this one with the embossing paste. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first one that I'm actually going to start on is going to be the one with the snow, and I'm going to bring in a piece of my paper here. And we're going to get started. Now, in this package of stencils, there's 4 of them. This one, you know what, when I saw this one really made me think of the Well Done stamp set. It made me think of the tail or the water out of the blowhole or whatever. And one of my team members actually took sponge daubers and different colors, and she just did different colors for the lines and the dots, and it turned out so cute. This is another one of the mask, and then here's one that is like a candy stripe, and then this is the one that I'm going to use first. And I'm not going to make the whole card to start out with. I'm just going to do some of it because I want this part to dry. So let me get this other stuff out of the way and bring my kit in. All right, so hey Melinda. So for my first project, I'm going to be using Thick Whisper White. Of course, you know, it's A2 card size because I'm here in the US, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I'll go ahead and glue this on. This is from, I cannot remember the name of the paper, but look how pretty that is and how it just kind of shines and takes on different colors. This is from the Whimsical Tree Suite. I don't remember the name, but I will have all this on my blog, and you'll be able to see everything, the sizes of everything and the products, the supplies, all of that on my blog. This is a piece of Balmy Blue. Let me put these other things to the side. And if I'm not mistaken, it's cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4. But again, don't worry about writing all that down. It will be on my website. So what I'm going to do, I always like to have a piece of paper up under it. And then I'm using a mask, my stencil mask, and I'm going to tape it down because I don't want it to shift and move as I'm using it. I want it to stay still. And there's no right or wrong way. It's just whichever of the snowflakes that you want to fit on there is how you'll do it. And you know, every time that I do one of these videos, I think I have everything. And I just realized I don't. Before I make the next 2 cards, I'm going to have to go to the other side of the room. But I won't need to do that right this minute. So this is embossing paste. And I'm going to use that to put on here. And it ends up looking like velvet, a good bit like velvet. It's so cool. And these are the spatulas that you use that you can get from Stampin' Up. So basically what I'm going to do is just put a bunch of it on there. And then I'm just going to start filling in those holes from the stencil And you don't have to be super neat or tidy or whatever. You just take it and just start filling it in there. And the interesting thing about this embossing paste is that you can color it. So if this were a white piece of cardstock and I wanted to do a mask with different colors or do a stencils with different colors with the embossing paste, I would put this on either the silicone mat or either on a big block or something like that. And then you would just tint it using re-inkers. And you can do whatever color that you want to, as far as, you know, if you have the inks to do it with. And it turns out so good. I'm not doing that tonight. Tonight, I'm just I want white snowflakes. And so I thought this would be really pretty on this balmy blue. So I'm just going to go ahead and just get the excess off. And it's still, even though I'm getting the excess off, it's still leaving a good bit in those little holes and stuff. Well, I think I bent that a little bit. So we'll just go the opposite direction there. Okay. Make sure I have plenty on there. Okay, and I'll wash all of this off when I'm finished. So then I'm just going to peel this up, and I'm actually going to save my washi tape. So I'm just going to stick it right there, and I will use that on the next masking projects as well. Okay, don't think I'll be saving this one because it just tore. How are you guys doing tonight? Did you have a good day? It's a beautiful day here in Middle Georgia. Absolutely gorgeous today. All right. There may be some little pieces along the edges. And you can just run your finger along there and just kind of smooth that out. I let it dry. One of the ones that I did before, I let it dry too long. And it got a little crispy and a little crunchy. And I was just able to take a fingernail file, and just an emery board, I guess is what you call it. I don't know. They used to call it that when I was a kid. And you can just file those off right there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this up. And you can see I do not waste, because this is from a class. So I'm going to put this off to the side for those that just jumped on. This is what I'm making. And I will be coming back to this because I want it to dry. So we'll just stick that off to the side. Okay, now I need to get my, whoops. Sorry. And then I dropped everything. I can never do a video without dropping stuff. And I shouldn't speak that, but it's true. It happens every single time. Okay, I'm going to bring in the next one, and this is going to be, I'm going to do the gingerbread one next. I had to go across the room because I thought I had everything, but I didn't. I had forgotten. This is the one I'm doing now. I had forgotten to get my blending brushes and my sponge stopper. So let's do it like this. All right. So I'm taking a piece of, this is 3 3/4 by 5. It's a piece of crumb cake. And I'm going to bring in this particular mask. Just try to line it up so it doesn't end up being crooked and off. So we'll go ahead and just tape that down using washi tape. Hi, Francis. Oh, where are you from in Missouri? I lived in St. Louis. I actually raised both my kids in St. Louis. We left in '98, but my husband's parents lived there. And I lived there for 17 years. I got a funny story about St. Louis, too. When I flew into St. Louis for the very first time, y'all, I got to get crumb cake too. Sorry. Um, I sure did think I had everything. So when I flew into St. Louis for the very first time, um, the airport, in the airport, it had a big banner that went across and it said, "Welcome to the great state of St. Louis." And I have never forgotten that. It's so funny because people in St. Louis kind of feel that way, like they're their own thing. It's so weird. I've never known another city that was quite like that. But anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm using my blending brush and I've got crumb cake and I am just rubbing on crumb cake onto my card and it will leave these beautiful little spots. I keep looking at my computer because it says no one is watching, but then I keep getting comments. So I don't know what's going on, but anyway, it will be here for those who don't have time to watch tonight. So no big deal. Melinda, you said super productive day and surprisingly warm in Pennsylvania. Leaves start. Oh, I love it when the leaves change colors. In Georgia, we get some of that, but not a huge amount of it. And then we have a second place down in Florida, and you don't see that at all because it's all palm trees. But I don't mind palm trees, if I'm being honest. Okay. All right, I'm going to close that up. That is crumb cake, and I did it on top of crumb cake. And I will show you how it turns out. I had to miss last week. There was so much going on, and I just couldn't find the time to do it. And it throws me off when I miss. Well, that's not as dark as I wanted it to be, but it's good. It is all good. It throws me off when I miss because then it's like I have to get up my nerve, and I get so nervous on these things, y'all. So nervous. It's crazy. I shouldn't, but I do. Okay, this is crumb cake. It's 5.5 by 8.5. And then this is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to glue this on top of here first. And instead of doing a lot of stamping on this, I did a lot of prep work already. I'm going to show you the paper. If you don't have this paper, it is so cute. I have the dies and the stamp set, but I loved how these were different colors and it was already decorated in pretty colors. And so your dies fit these perfectly, right down to the peppermints even. And so I just went ahead and did that ahead of time. And that's what we're going to use. I love the little cookie cutter ornaments, and the papers in this are so pretty with the old olive and the red and all of that. Just really pretty. Okay, now I'm going to use this ruched ribbon, and I'm going to get my little ornaments out and some dimensionals. And I'm coming to the end of this package. And what I'm going to do is I want my ornaments to hang from these pieces of ribbon. So I'm just going to stick the ribbon in the back. Normally I use glue dots, but I was like, you know what? I got to have a dimensional on there anyway. So I'll just go ahead and put that on and it will be fine. And it holds it. It holds it really well. Okay. Get my scissors out and I will cut a piece of that off. I'll do the same thing on this one. I think I get a little nervous too because I always feel like I'm a little bit in a hurry because I don't want to take up way too much time, you know, like dilly-dallying. And if I'm being honest, my husband walked in here a few minutes ago with a chicken that he smoked out on his smoker today. And my stomach is starting to growl a little bit. I'm just being honest with you. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put this on. And I wanted to do this before I put it on the card base. because then you can cover it up. Okay, now I will use, Melinda, you get nervous too? Oh, I don't know what it is. I mean, you know, I don't know. I really don't. It's okay. At least I'm doing it. You know what? I might be doing it afraid, but I'm doing it. Okay. I use glue dots a lot for this sort of thing. Some people use tape, but glue dots work really well. Okay. So then I'm just going to glue it down. Okay. Stick it right in here like this. And then I also cut some of the, let me find them, some of the little peppermint things. I only see 2 of them, but I did 3. So it may just get 2 tonight, and I'll add another one later. I do like them in 3s, though. So, but you know, when you have stuff on your tabletop, you just never know. All right, so we'll go with 2. No big deal. And I'm just going to stick them in here. I'm going to stick one down in here. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment using Real Red. On a piece of crumb cake. Now, if you're like me, when you cut these pieces, you come up with lots and lots of scraps, especially when you're doing classes. And so I just keep them. I don't keep all of them. I'm going to try to do this without getting my head in the camera. I don't keep all of them, but I keep a little bag. Don't like that. And I use them. Yeah, that's much better. I use them for classes. Okay. And for videos. I just use them to create. All right. I'm going to close that up. And I'll pop this up on dimensionals as well. Francis, you live out from St. Louis? You're from St. Louis, but you live in the country? I've been a lot of places in St. Louis. Actually, we're going back Thanksgiving. My husband is scheduled to deploy in January for 7 months. And we're going to go back to St. Louis for Thanksgiving so we can spend time, he can spend time with the family before he goes. And then I'll probably go back to St. Louis next year while he's deployed. Because 7 months is a long time without that man. He's a goofy guy, and he's so fun, and this house is going to be super quiet without him. Okay, that has got my card done, except for the inside, and I don't want to take time to do that tonight, but isn't that cute? I should have done the little shading a little bit darker, but it turned out so cute, and I like it better with the 3rd one, so I'll probably cut another one and put that on there. But I do love this paper that Stampin' Up is, I guess the last 2 or 3 catalogs they've been doing this, where they have die cuttable images, and I love it. It's really good for online classes. It's good for really quick cards to put together, and so I really like that. All right, this is still drying, so I'm going to go to the next card, which is going to be this one, and pull my kit out for it. Is he a good cook? Yes, he actually is. He didn't cook a whole lot when we first got married. He did one thing, and that was potato soup, I think it was. He was pretty good at potato soup. But he's gotten really good at cooking other things. But since he got, here's that other thing. Yay, I found it. Since he got that smoker, all I have to do is just say, you know, I've got a chicken in the freezer that would be really good in that smoker, and he'll do it for me. It really takes it takes some of the strain of cooking all the time off of me. All right, for this one, I'm going to use a piece of basic white, and I have to find my template, my stencil. Here it is. All right, I'm going to just put it down using washi tape as well. I'm not going to cover this whole thing because I'm not going to use the whole thing. So I'm only going to do the corners. And I just realized another thing I forgot, and that's my little mini trimmer. Good Kogalamooga. Y'all, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting stuff. Okay, I'll get that in a minute. All right, so now I'm going to take my red again, my real red, and this time, rather than using a blending brush, I'm going to use my sponge dauber, because with your blending brush, you're kind of going like this. These are really flimsy, and it would be really easy for your image to get mottled, I don't know, messy. And so what I did with this is I just go along the edges. I just sponge it. I don't even rub it. I just sponge it in there. I'll try to do it quickly. I may, after Sunday's team meeting, I should have, that doesn't sound right. I probably should have re-inked my ink pad, but it's okay. Okay. It really is better to just dab it rather than rub it. And then I'm going to come down here and do the same thing on the same grouping of lines. It was so pretty here today. The sun was shining, and of course it was 80 because it is Georgia. I think it's supposed to get into the 70s by the end of the week. It's fair time here. The Georgia National Fair is here, and I don't think I'm going because that's just too many people, especially with COVID. I don't think I want to be around that many people. But in the past, when we would go to the fair, you know, it should be cool. It should be nice and cool out to walk around the fair, you know, especially at night, and you're like burning up. So hopefully when people are at the fair this weekend, it'll be a little bit cooler for them. I do enjoy the fair. I don't enjoy being around a lot of people, especially under these circumstances. Okay, I'm going to grab my trimmer real quick. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I'm just going to come in here and put it at an angle. I'm going to take it along like that. And do it again. I don't really want to cut my lines off, but I definitely needed it to be cut, and I don't trust myself to do it because I can't cut a straight line. I think I've got the wrong color of red, but okay. Pretty paper though. This paper is from the Peaceful Place Suite. I don't know the name of it, but again, it will be listed on my blog. Hopefully by tomorrow. Okay. Stick this on here. That. It is a little bit darker, but it's okay. All right. I wanted this to pop up. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals on this. I wanted it to look like it was like this, and here was framed. Do you remember the old time scrapbooking consist of the little paper corners, and you would put them on your. It seemed like the pages were black in your photo album, and you would just lick the back of those little paper corners and put them on there for the four sides, the four corners of it, and then you would just slip your picture inside of those little corners. That's what this made me think whenever I did it. Like you're just slipping your picture down inside of there. Okay. All right. So I got a little bit of stamping to do on this one. I'm going to stamp my sentiment using Real Red. And this is from the, let me think. Tasteful Labels dies, maybe? Something like that. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side. Then I have a piece of crumb cake, and I'm going to use Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp my Adhere. Now, I have the punch for it, and what you want to do is you always want to look at what direction your punch is, and that determines where you're going to stamp it. So I don't want to stamp it up there with its legs up here. I need to do it with its legs closer down to here because this is where I'll be punching it out at. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and punch this little fella out. He's just a happy little guy. Get it right. Okay. Then I'm going to take this little piece of white and Evening Evergreen. Love the smoker. Oh, girl, me too. He does some, one second, let me get my little mat out. He does some ribs, and he does pork shoulder butt that you can shred, and it's so good. It's been a long time since you've been to the fair or the amusement park. Yeah, me too. Me too. And I don't see myself doing that anytime soon, to be honest. I'm not scared of COVID, but I just feel like you should use common sense too. I've only had one of the vaccines, so I'm due up the end of this month for the other one. I really debated on it, and I mean, it doesn't matter to me what people do. You do you, let me do me. But I really resisted doing it because I usually react really badly to vaccines, really badly. And I was really just scared. I was scared to do it. I mean, like sick for days kind of thing. Shingle shot, oh, it was awful. I had to stop taking the flu shot because every time I took it, I got sicker. And so I just had to stop, and my doctor said, don't ever do it again. So I'm just really cautious about that sort of thing. So my son and his wife live in England, and it looks like I'm finally going to get to go see them early next year. Finally, it's been 2 years and a month, I think, since I have seen them face to face. And this mama and this Kiki, which is my grandma name, has struggled. Man, I've been on the struggle bus. You can't touch your kids. It's hard. I got to get rid of some of that. So anyway, it looks like I'm going to be able to go early next year, and or at least in the spring anyway. And I just knew traveling would be a lot easier. So I just really prayed about it. I'm like, oh God, please don't let me get really, really sick. And I didn't. I was really shocked. I was a little tired, and that was it. I was really happy, and I'm going to start praying in advance that I don't get really sick from the next one, because that's the one that people tend to get more sick with, I think. I'm about 100% sure that I had COVID last year. I was sick for quite a while with terrible cough, and lost my sense of taste and smell. But it was in February, and here in Georgia, they weren't really testing for it yet. But I was a sick puppy for a little bit. I didn't even want to craft, so that tells you, if that tells you anything. Okay. Sorry, this is taking me too long to cut this out. I should have done this ahead of time. And I can usually whip through it when nobody's watching me. Thank God for FaceTime, though. I'm telling you, I don't know what I would have done the last 2 years had I not been able to FaceTime with my son and daughter-in-law and my precious 6-year-old granddaughter, who, by the way, just got over COVID last week, and it was the most pitiful thing. Um, she they live in England, and her mother is English, and she has an English accent, and it's so cute. But at school, she's first grade 1, I think is what they call it, and at school, the little kids have been talking about COVID, and they talked about how people die with COVID, and so when she got sick with it, she was just really acting out, and my son was like, "What is going on? Why are you acting like that?" And she started crying, and she says, "I don't want to die in 2 or 3 days because I have COVID." It was the most pitiful thing. Of course, she said it in a cute little English accent, but "Dad, I don't want to die." So, so pitiful. But anyway, hopefully it'll be over one day, or at least manageable. All right. Sending love and peace. Sorry about my rambling. It just felt like it was just going to be dead air too much. So I'm just going to glue this tree down right here. And then I'm going to place my little fella. I'm going to put one dimensional on his belly. Let's see, best place to put it, because I don't want him to just cave in. And then I'll put some on his leg and his head. Yeah, I took that off already. Just want to cover the base of that tree, basically, like that. Okay. Then I'm going to use the Wonderful Gems. Thank you, Francis. I felt like it would just kind of set it off doing the corners like that. Thank you, Teresa, and welcome. Well, I'm going to have to use a big one because I ran out of the little ones. Okay, put that right there. And I'll put this little bitty one up here next to it. So that has that card made. Thank you, Melinda. I wish I could hug her. Sweet little thing. Anyway, so there you go. That is my third card. Okay, now we're going to put this one together and then we're done. And it has dried. So I'm going to glue this on. I'll tell you a funny story about Mavis. She is a character, man. I'm telling you what, she is a character. And smart as a whip. But she goes to a school in Nottingham. They live in Nottingham, England. And it's a little bit posh. And so she's kind of started talking like the little posh girls do. And so one day she was in the bathtub. This is about a year ago, I think. And she says, "Dad, please wash." She didn't have the water running yet. She wanted it. So she says, "Please, Dad, please run the water in the bath." And he got so tickled over that because it was like she was Queen Elizabeth or something. "Please run the water in the bath." Okay, I'm going to stamp off for my snowflakes. Flip them around. That's got my stamping done. I'll put that up on with dimensionals. And then all I have to do is my snowflakes. Now, one thing I have been doing quite a bit is, oh, thank you, Teresa. Hi, Suzanne. I appreciate you watching me. That really means a lot. Thank you so much. So one thing I've been doing a lot is using glue dots to adhere things. So, and by the way, I don't know if you can tell, but this is the, I forget what you call it, but it's like snow. It's felted paper from Stampin' Up, and I forget the name of it, but it is really pretty. And hold on, I'll put a different one on there. So I'm going to just put this in here, and I'm going to alternate so that these petals are in between, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put another glue dot behind this one. And I'm going to put it right there. Just don't want to cover up any of that. I actually had time today to create for fun. It wasn't for a class or anything like that. It was for fun. Now, I'll probably use them I may use them for a class. I may use them for lives or videos or blogs or something like that, because I've got too much to do usually to not do that. But I got to use some of the new stuff out of the catalog that I haven't had time to do yet. And it was so fun. I loved it. It was so good for my soul. Creating is just good for us. Okay, stick this right here, like that. And I am going to take some more glue dots. I could be called the glue dot queen, I'm sure, because I love me some glue dots and I use them a lot. If I have the tails of ribbons that don't want to go where I want them to, I just stick a glue dot under them. There we go. Now that will keep that from lifting up and getting caught on things. And then we will put some, these are Old Faithfuls, man. They're so good. Okay, let me do this. Let me use my scissors because I can tell I'm going to chase them around otherwise. Alrighty, so I'm going to put one up in here and up in the negative space. One right in here. And I think maybe right over here. Okay. So there are my cards. And if you saw my desk, whew, it's a mess. But here's my cards, and I love them. I think they're so cute. If you haven't used the stencils yet, I would encourage you to do that. Get the embossing paste, put some color in it, and do something with some color too. I plan to do that. I plan to play around with that a bit. But the embossing paste on here, it makes it look like it's felted, and it looks really good. You can feel it. It's raised up, and it just looks so cute. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I don't think I have any more comments to answer. Melinda, you're not kidding. Wow, I will grab hold of those kids and grandkids and probably won't let go. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for the fun conversation. I hope you guys have a great night. I plan to be back Friday at noon, and I'll show you what I'm going to do Friday. So I did a video recently, and for whatever reason, my Final Cut would not work. And I think I edited the thing 4 or 5 times, and it just would not work. And I posted it on my website. I posted it on Facebook, and I had to take the video down. I had posted it to YouTube, and then someone messaged me that it wasn't working, so I had to take it down. So instead of trusting Final Cut Pro again, I'm just going to do this on a live on Friday at lunch. And this was actually a card that is in the catalog with Peaceful Place, but it had the cork background and it was in blue and all of that. I really liked it, but I didn't like the colors, and I just thought this would be perfect. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do this on Friday. All right, I think that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. Hi, Heather from Australia. Thank you for joining me. I'm just popping off now, but here's what I made using the stencils. Please feel free to go back and check it out. And check me at noon Eastern Standard Time on Friday, and I'll be making this on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great evening. Bye.